When looking at the world's fastest tubers, one thing that they all have in common is that they practice a lot. Like, I mean, a lot and very consistently. One thing that I rarely do and need to work on a lot is practicing consistently. I wanted to see what it would be like practicing and training like these world record holders for the next 2 weeks. I went about asking some of the best cubers, world record holders across the globe in many different events, how they practice daily, how much time they spent on their solves, how many solves they did, how much time they spent learning algs, and much more to create a concise and very effective training schedule for myself to practice and train like a WR holder. I also got my friend Ram Thakkar, who we all know, to practice alongside with me, although he only did this for a few days. The event that I practiced and trained like a world record holder over these past 2 weeks was in 3x3, while Ram practiced pyramids. Before I started, I normally averaged about mid 9 seconds on 3x3 and sub 9 on a really good day. I was very inconsistent in solving and often got 13s and 12s. My main goal for this was to become a lot more consistent with my solving and not get those 13s and 12s in my solves, instead only getting 9s or 8s in my solves. I also wanted to start learning new algs and make that a habit of learning new algs, as I normally don't really learn algs, and the last alg I learned was about a year ago. So that's another thing I wanted to improve upon. So let's get started and see how these 2 weeks went. Hi, so the first day of practicing like a WR holder has just elapsed. That sounds so fancy. So I started by practicing just doing a bunch of solves, and I made sure not to delete any of those times, which is kind of different than my normal practice, because normally what I do is I just do 5 solves and then delete 5 solves again. So now I made sure to do like a full continuous session, and in this my average of 100 was 9.3, which is pretty decent considering in the beginning I had a bunch of 10s and 11s. I don't know, I wasn't practiced that much. After that I just learned a ton of algorithmic F2L algs. I normally do intuitive F2L, so I was just trying to change that into algorithmic F2L, which, I mean, considering if I want to get faster, that's probably the next step to go. And actually, the flipped edge, so this alg, the 9 mover for this was the first alg I learned in almost a year, 9 months. After I learned the VPerm, the Jaden VPerm, which is pretty nice. So after I did that, I practiced applying this into my solves. So I just did a ton of solves where it was just F2L. So I just solved cross in F2L, and I was trying to get sub 5.5 for this, and I was averaging about low 5 for this at the end, so which is pretty nice. And I'm just gonna continue practicing this, and let's see where it goes. Bye. Hello again. So day 3 of practicing like a WR holder has just ended. So yesterday I stumbled upon F2 Gen F prime. Like, I really wanted to learn it for some time, but I just decided I'm gonna start trying yesterday. So I just did it. I started learning and I did a ton of F2 Gen F prime solves. I think I was averaging about 12 or 11 with that, because I was kind of confused at some cases. And then today I finished like with some GSS cases, just learning the general concept. And I'm like generally averaging my normal average with that. So if you don't know what F2 Gen F prime is, so it's basically where you solve diagonal pairs. I mean, if you have diagonal pairs, you just do F, and then you can solve the rest of F2L with 2gen, which is really fast. I mean, it's better than rotating and stuff, so I just decided I want to do that because sometimes, I mean, there are a lot of cases when I do have diag pairs and I tend to do Y2s and rotate a lot, so I'm just trying to reduce that. And after that, that was basically what I did. I mainly just tried to apply that into my solves and get better with that. And today I'm averaging my general like 9.3-ish even with and without the F2 Gen F prime, which is pretty nice. Hopefully I can get below that with practicing more. I mean, we'll see where it goes. And then after this, I had 2 or 3 COLL cases which I had forgotten from about 2 years ago. So I just went back and learned those and made sure I had those. And then I just did a bunch of COLL trainer, like using the ZBLL trainer thing. And then after that, I just spammed last layer and trying to get sub 3 last layer. Okay, my splits don't really add up to 9, they add up to 8, but that's fine. So I was averaging about 4 to 3 in the beginning, but I was getting low threes, which is pretty nice. So let's hope I'm able to improve. Bye. Hello, so day 7 has basically ended. I forgot to record day 5, so I'm sorry about that. But basically, I've just been practicing the usual, doing a ton of solves. I haven't really learned any algs since the last time I recorded, so I should probably do that. But other than that, after practice, I just practice on general areas. So either focusing completely on last layer PLLs, OLLs, or like cross plus one in inspection, or just full F2L, trying to get sub 5 on that now. I'm still averaging about low 5 on just F2L, so I'm really trying to drill down on that. So I am pretty confident in my cross plus one skill now, which I wasn't before. And now I think I'm gonna start trying cross plus two. I don't know if that's too confident, but let's just go for it. So there's this website which basically gives options for the amount of moves for cross solution from 1 to 8. So I'm just going to start with the 1 movers and trying to predict cross plus 2 and see if I can do it, and then 2 mover cross and cross plus 2, 3 mover cross up to 8 mover cross, which I don't think is possible, but I'm just going to try. What's the worst that can happen? And let's see where that goes. I'm pretty happy with the progress so far, although it's kind of tiring. And I did do a little bit of 4x4 because I got a bit bored of 3x3, but I'm probably going to continue practicing and hopefully it gets better. And yeah, let's see. Bye. Hello everyone. So day 10 just ended of practicing like a WR holder. It still sounds really fancy whenever I say it. So basically today and yesterday what I did was I was just planning on drilling down my last layer. I was able to get down to high twos on like good cases, like really good cases were mid twos, low twos, but in general, like high twos, maybe low threes if I wasn't doing that well. So that really got my average down. So now I'm averaging really low 9. So I got an average of my best average of 100 out of the 200 like plain solves I did was a 9.04. Yeah, 9.04, which is pretty nice because before I was getting like up till now, the best I've gotten was 9.1. So I'm pretty happy with the progress. Probably going to continue um, improving F2L now, trying to get that, and just like trying to fit both of them together because I think I'm having some pause between after completing F2L and last year. And also, I'm starting to see that I'm incorporating the F2 Gen F prime a lot in my solves, and it's really helping me. So I'm really happy about that. For that, I'm not getting that many eights with that, but I'm getting nines, so that's still pretty good. So let's see where it goes. Bye. See you on day 12. Hey everyone, so day 13 has just ended. I was supposed to record yesterday, but I'll explain why I didn't do that. So I left off at day 10. So day 11, what I did, I didn't practice 3x3 at all. I was getting a bit bored of it because I feel I was practicing a bit too much. So I just dropped it. I did some 4x4 solves and I tried to get a bit faster at Pyraminx because I had an online competition with Pyraminx, but I wasn't able to compete in that. That's another story in itself. Anyways, so after day 11 came day 12, and day 12 wasn't that great. My best average of 100 was, I believe, um, 9.2, which is okay, but not the best. So basically, I was just trying experimental methods and new stuff just for just to see if what works and what doesn't. So I did some color neutral solves. I believe I did like 25, 30 solves, but I just didn't get the hang of it and it got really annoying. So I just gave up on that. And I tried some pseudo slotting and I was getting pretty decent with that, although decent for pseudo slotting is like 10, or if it's a really good case, 9. I don't think I ever got an 8 with pseudo slotting, so that's all okay. So I felt like my main weakness today was the cross plus one. I just wasn't able to plan. So I just spent a lot of time practicing that. So I just got normal scrambles and then did cross plus one blindfolded in 15 seconds because I mean, that's the main place where I'm lacking. So in that, today I was able to get like a 95% success rate, which is okay. Normally, it's probably a bit higher, but that's all good. And then after that, um, I tried some cross plus two, one or two move cross scrambles with cross plus two, but that wasn't going too well, so I gave up on that. And then I just went back to normal solves, just plain normal solves, nothing fancy, and I was able to get like decent average with that, so that's fine. Today was actually really good. I guess that practicing of all that cross plus one and focusing on that really helped. I was actually able to beat my average of 100 TB. I got an 8.89 average of 100, which is really nice for me. And yeah, I'm really happy with that. After that, what I did was I practiced some 4x4 because I just wanted to try something new. And yeah, so I believe this is the last video entry before like the final thing. And yeah, so I'll see you then. Bye. Now, before I go into my thoughts and feelings about these last 2 weeks and whether I was able to improve, let's see how Ram's practice went and how he was able to improve and his thoughts and feelings on this.
Hey guys, so lately I've been practicing a whole lot of pyramids. I learned intuitive L4E and I've been applying that to my solves. Although they are a lot slower, I can see all the potential in that method and I can't wait to speed up in pyramids, hopefully get around sub 5. I watched a whole lot of example solves, tips and tricks videos and reconstruction videos, and that immensely improved my V building skills. So hopefully over the course of the coming days I will improve a lot more in pyramids and you guys will see some new PBs.
Now, for the part you probably want to know, my results and if I was able to improve. Yes, I was able to improve a lot over these 2 weeks. I was able to go from averaging mid 9 seconds to averaging sub 9 and often mid 8 seconds, which is really good for me, considering this improvement happened over the course of 2 weeks. And prior to this, I was averaging mid 9 for almost 5 to 6 months. And I'm really happy with this improvement. I was also able to become a lot more consistent with my solves, and my worst solves in averages often being 9s or 10s as opposed to 13s, 14s, and 15s. So I was really proud of that as well. I broke many of my personal bests in 3x3, such as my single personal best with a 5.5-second solve, my mean of 3, my average of 5 with a 7.67-second average, my average of 12, and my average of 100 with an 8.89-second average of 100, which is basically all of the 3x3 single and average personal bests. And I'm really happy about this. This improvement was also shown in my competition results, where I was able to average a lot faster, helping me gain some podiums in them as well. Some examples are my second place at Quarantine Classic Open with an 8.08-second average, and many of my sub 9 averages, as well as my incredible comeback against Nikhil Sores in the Adani League semi-finals, although he still managed to beat me and a man. So, would I recommend practicing like this? Yes. If you have the time and want to get a lot faster, practice like this and I promise you, you will improve a lot and you won't regret it at all. Or, of course, you could just turn to the Vedic method and all your worries will vanish. That's all for now. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope it helps you. If you enjoyed, be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe, and more. And until next time, bye.